Hi there, viewers. Thank you for joining the live chat session. A warm welcome to all of you. Let me greet the participants. Then, two main topics I'll share with you, which we'll have a look in this live chat. Alam Gizao, first one who commented today. Alam is a member too. Warm welcome to you, Alam. Alam says hello. Then we have John Spencer, says good afternoon. Yamasgan here too, second member who joined today is Yamasgan. He says, Aap kaise hain, Sajid? How are you, Sajid? I'm fine. How are you, Yamasgan? How's your baby? Now, Home Architects joined too from Addis Ababa. And then we have Shafo Welwell, another viewer, a member. Warm welcome to you, Shafo. He says hi. Samuel Faleke joined too. Samuel says, good afternoon, dear Sajid Bhai. Raya Woldekidan joined. Abjon Arge here too. Tamasgan Denka says, greetings from Frankfurt today on time. Thank you for joining, Tamasgan Denka. Yamaskan says, you'll be surprised Fano will enter Gondar city soon. Let's record what Yamaskan is saying today in live chat. He says that Fano will enter Gondar city soon. By the way, Yamaskan, will Fano enter Gondar city to leave, or will it try to take control of Gondar city? Abdi Kareem Farah joined too. Welcome to you, Abdi. Abdi seems to be Somali, if I'm not wrong. He's a member. Special welcome to you. Engesom photo says that the plane that crashed in Iran was the US made, not Russian. Uh, okay, if it's correct, I don't know. What I heard was that it was a Russian plane. Iranians don't import weaponry from US. If it was an American plane, then it was bought decades ago, I think. Helicopter rather, not plane. Bilal Asaya joined too. Says, hello, how are you, Bilal? Bilal is a member too. Valalagan 14 says, Sajid, hello, sir. Do you speak one of the mountain languages of Pakistan? Which are mountain languages of Pakistan? I know Urdu only, Punjabi, little bit of Saraiki. Iri 1991 here too. Eratia the Beautiful says, hi Sajid, how can you confidently say that Brigade Hamido is an Eritian resistance movement, not Tigray? What's your proof? Did you check their birth certificate, each of them? What's behind? And why do you say that they are non-Eritreans? What's your evidence? I mean, the evidence that they are Eritreans is clear because of their slogans, their manifesto, their dressing, their uh, campaign, their shirts, their everything is indicative of their being Eritrean. Keeping aside what their true identity is. Which evidence do you have to prove that all of them are non-Eritreans? They say they are Eritreans. They say that their agenda is that they want to bring about change in Eritrea. They're fighting for Eritrean people. Why do you deny that? What's wrong with that? Problem is that the Eritrean government and those who support the government, they are not willing to see any opposition. Opposition is not enemy. In a democracy, opposition is not enemy. Opposition is formed to keep the government on track, to monitor government's performance. It is government in waiting. This is what an opposition is. Problem is that in Eritrea there is no opposition. If anyone tries to be opposition, the parties are declared non-Eritrea, enemies of Eritrea. Abdi Karim is Ethiopian Somali from Jigjaga. Ali Horace Aburus is from afar. PW Ethiopia says, Sajid, who would you say has a better intelligence network in Addis Ababa, Eritrea or TPLF? Well, I don't know about their networks there. I can only analyze. I have no information from the ground. Yamaskan says that Fano will just enter and leave on a mission. Peace and love join to welcome peace. A member, how are you, peace? Lisa Redmond joined to. Engesong Photo is a BN member. Elijah Kano joined. Elijah, I would like you to write something for the website too. I know you have wonderful expression when it comes to writing. You and some others know how to write. And yes, your views are strong, but that's what we want people to read. Jahad Muhammad joined, says, Salam, brother Sajid. I am from Djibouti and I love your analysis. Are you Jahad? Lilo joined. Lilo says, I says, what's your view on Minister of Defense Abraham Ballet's removal? Okay, I'll respond to that. Mikhail joined. Yeah, the Minister of Defense has been removed. I would say removed because he's the Minister of Irrigation. Minister of Irrigation is not that important a portfolio. Minister of Defense is a key portfolio. He was heading the forces. I see it as a demotion. I don't see it as a promotion for Abraham Ballet. I think Abraham had some strong views about the status of Western zone. Umera Volkai said he has been in favor of areas coming under proposing the return of IDPs to proposing the dismantlement of governments and Amhara militias there. I know because I've been covering that. I think he posted a few things, a few posts a few months ago about the issue of Western zone. And now, when things are going to heat up in Western zone, the man has been sidelined. And we must read his sidelining with what Tadase Varede said yesterday. What did Tadase Varede say? This is one news story which I'll cover in this live chat. And secondly, Farah Malim, the Kenyan MP, why is he allowed to spread hate? Who is he? Why is that he uses such strong language against Ethiopians? Does he have any right? Why is he fueling a conflict between Ethiopia and Somalia? Well, Yemesgan Alam is saying excellent analysis yesterday when you said Eritrea should talk cause they're in a position of strength and Tigray wants revenge. You are a strategist. Well, I just promote peace. I think for lasting peace in this region, one day Tigray and Eritrea will have to sit at the table. By Tigray, I mean Ethiopia. Without Tigray, Ethiopia, if it sits on table with Eritrea, that wouldn't be helpful, I would say. It would be more helpful if both Tigray and federal government join hands to talk to Eritrea. That's the way forward. But keeping in view what happened in Addis Ababa on Saturday, no signs of talks now between Ethiopia and Eritrea. Rather, we'll see more tensions between the two sides. So, Lilo, your question was about uh, Abraham Ballet. I think Abraham Ballet's removal is linked to upcoming developments in Western zone. Now, let's start. What did Tadase Varade say yesterday? Tadase was frustrated. The statement issued is an indication of frustration in the ranks of Tigray leaders. What did he say? And what can this frustration translate into? What is the reason of the frustration? Tadase said that federal government's inaction is causing delay in the return of IDPs in southern zone. It means that Tigray wants a return of its IDPs to the areas newly taken by Tigray authorities last month. Rai, Lamata, Koram, Ofla, parts of Church, and Zata too. Is federal government opposing the return of IDPs? Or is Tigray accusing the federal government of inaction because the Alamata city is still under ENDF control? Tigrayan fighters are not being allowed to take over Alamata city. And federal government is not giving full control of Alamata city and some other areas to Tigray authorities. That is why the return of IDPs could not start. Or Tigray is frustrated because the federal government is not allowing the return of IDPs into southern zone because Tigray fighters forcibly captured areas, large areas in southern zone. The areas were decided to come under the control of. Thank you, Red, the beautiful, for becoming a member. Special welcome to you on becoming a member of this community of members. If you want to be a member, click the link given in description section of this video, this live chat, or other videos. So, Tigray is frustrated about the situation in southern zone and western zone. It wants swift and full control of entire southern zone and the return of IDPs. And then it wants the same to happen in western zone, where they gave a veiled threat to the federal government. He said that we won't allow this winter to pass. He meant to say that before the start of this year's winter, the IDPs must return to their homes in western and southern. I think we heard the same too last year when Sadkan said that before the start of winter, the IDPs should return to their homes. It did not happen. Now, where are they saying that the IDPs must return to their homes before the start of winter? And before the return of IDPs, we know that Amhara government will have to be dismantled. Amhara provincial government, Amhara militias will have to be disarmed. But yesterday, I reported that Shated Damleo and Damak Zadu held 2-day-long discussions in Humera Volkai, at the Remats, which is in Volkai. And then they vowed to defend the area from any intruders, from any Tigray fighters. So, Western zone could be a flashpoint. I don't know what will happen. PM Abiy's critics say from Amhara region, they say that PM Abiy's government has decided to hand over Western zone to Tigray. I don't know. I don't know if it will happen or not. But if Tigray regains entire western zone and gains access to Sudanese border, Tigray could be in a position to get support from uh, neighboring countries. Outsiders could be involved. Ideally, I don't think that Ethiopian government would like Tigray to take control of the areas close to border with Sudan. That's my analysis. I might be wrong. Let's see. So Tigray seems to be frustrated. That is why Abraham Ballet was removed today. He was supportive of the return of IDPs and supportive of the areas to come under Tigray control. Removed. Now, uh, engineer or doctor, I think Aisha is doctor or engineer from afar. She has been appointed as the Minister of Defense now. And she worked as Minister of Defense in 2018 to once again. By the way, what is the criteria for the appointment of the ministers? Does Aisha have any military background? Does he know anything about? She's an engineer, someone is saying. So she's a civil engineer and she's been appointed the Minister of Defense. So this shows that the appointments in Ethiopia by the Prime Minister are not done in accordance with people's capabilities or their qualification, but it's just what the Prime Minister wants. He wants to remove Abraham Ballet and he wanted to put Aisha in his place. I see uh, Abraham Ballet's removal to upcoming developments in Western zone. Let's see. Dark Star says, what do you think Abi's game is when it comes to the Pretoria deal? He silently supported TPLF in contested the region, but demotes Abraham Ballet. Is he appeasing both Tigray? Well, difficult to say, but I would say that the real challenge, the real flashpoint is a Western zone. It was never Southern zone. If you remember, uh, Southern zone was retaken by Tigray fighters in 2021, but they were not allowed to take an inch of Western zone. Western zone is more strategic because it shares border with Sudan. It's very fertile. It shares border with Eritrea too. It's strategic for Amhara. It's strategic for federal government. Strategic for Tigray too. So, and when it comes to Amhara government, ready, Amhara government may be willing. It was willing to hand to give southern zone to Tigray. When it comes to western zone, things could become complicated. Western zone is more strategic than southern zone. Maybe that's why I think PM Abi's government will not hand over the western zone to Tigray, unlike what happened in southern zone. Helpful meter says, Sajid, I do appreciate your intention to use neutral names for the disputed areas, but the name you are choosing are silly. Western zone, southern zone. These are the best words I can find. Western, southern zones. So there are no better words which are neutral than these two words, I think. Chafo says East Africa is in need of so many leaders like Ruto. Well, East Africa is not in need of leaders like Ruto. It is in need of systems like the one which is in Kenya. There should be systems in place. People should come and go. Systems should remain in place. So that is what the East African countries need. Channel 2 says, can Iran accuse US and Israel about helicopter crash if Iran gets any evidence? So far, no accusation, I think, from Iran. Liaso says, Sajid, what do you think about the joke Brigadier Nihamido joining hands with TDF and facing EDF? Well, it's not a joke, but Brigade Nihamido is not an armed group. It's a political movement. It is trying to gain international attention too. So I don't see it joining hands with TPLF, with Tigray fighters to take on Eritrea. Its mode of struggle is political, not military. Kaliyab says, Hi Sajid, what does it indicate the allowance of Brigade Nihamido in Ethiopia? Do you think uh, uh, we just jump to conclusions? The Ethiopian government of EPRDF and Isas Avok Eritrean government, they kept on backing opposition groups against each other for years. But they fought, I think, only once, 1998 war. And those were armed proxies being backed. This time, just a political opposition group being backed by Ethiopia. So it's not that in coming days, weeks, or months, we'll see a war erupt, but definitely bilateral tensions will remain high. Channel 2, do you think Brigadier Nihamido will tell they want to be seen as, but secretly they might try to organize themselves militarily too? Observer says, Sajid, if anyone is calling themselves Eritrea, why are they attacking the celebrations of Independence Day of their own? Yeah, valid question that they have no right to attack those who are celebrating Eritrean Independence Day. But what do they say? What's their argument? They say that Eritrea, that independence of Eritrea was hijacked by PFDJ, by Isaias Afwerki government, and these people use such occasions to crush opposition. Patriotism for them is a way of crushing opposition. If anyone questions them, they are labeled traitors, intruders, non-Eritreans. So that is why celebrating Independence Day while PFDJ is in power amounts to recognizing PFDJ and Sasavaki government. That is what they say. Their argument makes sense as well. They're not against Eritrea. They don't want Eritrea to be part of Ethiopia. They don't want to destroy Eritrea. They want a change in Eritrea, political change in Eritrea. Shafo says system can be abused as in many parts of Africa, but a leader who keeps to his word system, that's lacking in Africa. That system improvement. That is how they become systems, because improve them with every passing day. You fill in gaps. That is how you make them foolproof. Personality worship is rampant in Africa, in Asia as well, in my region too. But personality worship never leads to formation of real institutions in a country. No one should be above institutions. Institutions should be paramount. That's how I see. When we say there should be rule of law, it means that the institution, the rule of law is above everything, not the person who is implementing it or who is making rules about it. On Alice, it has not been announced so far that what caused the crash. Lastly, was one quick news story, then we'll end the live chat. Farah Malim, this man is now fueling hatred, spreading hate, should be stopped because the use of words by this man is very irresponsible. The man is based in Kenya in support of Somali uh, nations' expansionist dreams, critical of Ethiopian government. The man was very supportive of Ethiopian government, Ethiopian PM Abiy. When the war was ongoing in northern Ethiopia, and he was very critical of TPLF back then. Why? Because he's very appreciative of Isaias Afwerki, the man living in Kenya, contesting elections. He is an MP. He is appreciative, is all praise for that man who never held a single election in his country in power since 1991. Isn't it hypocrisy if similar things happen in Kenya that one man sits, he controls the power? What will Farah Malim do? Will he hold him in that regard which he gives to Isaias Afwerki? These people are hypocrites. They want to fuel conflicts away from where they live. In an interview around 24 hours ago, he used very strong language, insulting language against Ethiopia and Ethiopia. That should be condemned, I would say. Condemned by all. And the man again backed Somalis that 1,000 or 5,000 Somalis can fight hundreds of thousands of Ethiopians. Ethiopians are cowards. All Ethiopians are cowards. That was too much. If you remember, that man said a few months ago that he would send thousands of Somalis from Kenya to support Somalia in case of any war between Ethiopia and Somalia. If any war happened, God forbid, you'll see that the man will do nothing. He'll just fuel the conflict. Somalis will die, and that's all. So I would suggest those who become personal and they start criticizing a particular group, particular nation, particular ethnic group, they should be stopped. Uh, they should not be allowed to spread their propaganda. Iyasu says, Sajid, you are not following Brigade Nihamido. They are openly saying that members to Tigray. Well, I don't know about Indians, but what did they say in Addis Ababa? What did they say? That they would go to Tigray and fight PFD? I don't think so. With 30 minutes have passed, I think we should end the live chat session. It was good to be with you. We covered two topics. Today, where they warned federal government. Yesterday, Tigray running out of patience, it seems, as Abraham Ballet has been removed, who was working as defense minister. He was supportive of the Western zone coming under Tigray control. Das Verde says that this winter will not be allowed to pass without the return of IDPs to their homes in Western and Southern zone. It means that coming 2 to 3 months are very crucial for peace in Ethiopia. Farah Malim, Kenyan MP, all praise for Isas Sevuki and Sasevuki's government is spreading hate against Ethiopia should be stopped, fueling conflict in Ethiopia and Somalia. Thanks for watching. Stay blessed. I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, bye bye.